Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good day or night, depending on when this is catching you. And Mario Kart World has been out for about 5 days or so, and I have been able to play it. And I actually got my hands on a Switch 2 on the midnight release at a GameStop. So, what are my first impressions of Mario Kart World? Is it worth the $500 price tag? Is it worth the $80 that they're charging for it individually? And is it just a good game? Well, I have a couple things to say about it. Mario Kart World is presented very beautifully, in my opinion. The graphics are just perfect, absolutely gorgeous. And they work amazingly well for this game. The character designs all look crisp and clean, and they have really good light dynamics. And all the colors just pop out and just look so vibrant and beautiful. There's lots of different characters that you could unlock, which you can unlock some of them from the Grand Prix. And then eventually you have to get this item called the Kami, which is like some witch that changes all the racers into another character. And if you don't already have that character unlocked, then you get that character. So it's kind of like a random chance, kind of roll of the dice kind of thing. Which is, you know, it's cool, it's whatever, it doesn't really bother me. And yeah, and you can unlock all these costumes by getting these lunch bags that they littered throughout the open world of the game, or even just when you're racing in the Knockout Tour or the Grand Prix, you can pick up the lunch bags and sometimes you'll unlock a new costume for the character if you haven't already previously gotten it. So, you know, it's not too hard to unlock costumes and to unlock characters. However, it can be time consuming to get all the characters. I've probably played for about 15 hours and there's still a lot of characters and costumes I have to get. So in order to get all the costumes and all the characters, I would imagine it would probably take, and just off the top of my head, maybe like 50 plus hours, which isn't too terrible, I guess. And then you have the cars in the game, the carts. You unlock these basically just by collecting coins, either in open world or any mode really. They count up all the coins that you've collected over time. And I think every time you get like 100 or 50 coins, you unlock a new car. And then I believe after 3,000 coins, you get all the cars. So that's really not hard at all. I've already gotten all the carts and it didn't take very long. So yeah, with that being said, you know, the presentation of the game, very beautiful. You know, everything just looks great, feels like a AAA game. The controls are tight and precise. The drifting feels good, the jumping feels good. You know, there's all these new kind of techniques you can pull off, and some of them are kind of hard to get the hang of right away, and it takes a little bit of practice. And there's definitely like kind of a skill gap, like compared to like players who are really good and players who are just like learning. You know, it takes a little bit of effort to figure out like how to pull off the jumps and how long to grind on the walls, and if it's even worth it to grind on the walls or the rails or not, you know, because sometimes they don't really make you go faster. So, you know, there's a lot of like nuance to the game that's really cool. And keep in mind, I haven't played a Mario Kart game since Double Dash for the GameCube or Mario Kart DS. So it's been a long time since I played a Mario Kart game. I played Mario Kart 8 once at a Best Buy or a Target, I think. It was a Target with my friend. And that was the only time I ever played it, and we just raced one race and that was it. So I don't really know much about the Mario Kart series anymore. I was a huge fan for 64 and Double Dash. I loved those games as a kid growing up, and yeah, I just haven't really gotten to Mario Kart that much, so keep that in mind. You know, I'm not the hugest Mario Kart fan. I've just always kind of enjoyed the game, but it's never been like my favorite game where I sink like hundreds of hours into. But Yeah, for my first impressions, like overall, like it's a good game. Like I like it. It's fun. I have fun on it every time I play. And you know, to simply state it, yeah, it's fun. But for example, like the free world, one of the nitpicks that I have is that the free world is kind of too vague. Like it's just too open. Like there's not, like there's a lot to do in the world. And like, you know, you can get all these power switches, these P switches, and they give you like these little challenges that are like 8 seconds to like 30 seconds long, and there's a lot of them. You know, and the world's huge, which is really freaking cool. And then there's these like question mark blocks that you can find on the ground that each area has a certain amount. And, you know, you unlock stickers from doing these things, which doesn't really feel very rewarding because all you do is slap a sticker on like the rear end of your car and it's barely noticeable, you know, and it just kind of tells you like, oh, you completed this challenge or you've driven 500 kilometers or whatever, you know, and it's like, okay, that's, I guess that's cool, but doesn't really feel very rewarding, you know, for the $80 price tag. I will say the open world, like, you can tell they put a lot of love into it. You can tell they really tried hard to like flesh it out and make it feel like a living world, which it does. And there's a lot of cool things you can do and it's fun for what it is, but I just can't help but feel like it's lacking. Like they could have gone further with it. I mean, they could have added boss battles, story, you know, interactable characters that you can talk to, or maybe they give you things or help you unlock new cars. Like, I don't know, they could have just made it so much more epic and so much more rewarding to do what you were doing in the world. Otherwise, it just, to me, it kind of feels like if you're playing with friends and in between races, you go to the free world after you're done with the race, you know, and then it waits until you're ready for the next match before you play again. It's like a really good open world lobby. Like I feel like Mario Kart World is the first game to make an open world lobby, as far as I know. Like that's what it feels like to me. It's just an open world lobby where you can just fuck around and just do random shit and, you know, enjoy yourself with some background gaming while you talk to your friends. Or it would be really good. It's like one of those games where you can kind of just turn the music off and turn your own music on, you know, and just drive around and just relax. Like it's really good for that. You know, it's just not very engaging. It's cool. It's huge, but it's not the cream of the crop as far as progression goes and as far as giving you something to do that feels worthwhile, you know? Like if I were to compare it to Elden Ring, which is two completely different games, it's not, you know, that's peaches to apples. Like, do we really want Mario Kart to be like Elden Ring, where it's like these, you know, super detailed lore and, you know, every little nook and cranny has a meaning and purpose, and, you know, there's these obscure, vague quests and crazy, weird characters throughout the world with, you know, rewarding chests and loot. Like, you know, we don't want that in a Mario Kart game necessarily, but if I were to compare it to, you know, like Mario Kart's open world is just, yeah, like I said, just a lobby, just a place to kind of just relax and drive around. And yeah, once again, without sounding like a broken record, it's fun to drive around. Like you can do like little tricks on these like half pipes and on these ramps and stuff, you know, and you can get like the mushrooms and go really fast and do like multiple tricks in the air or whatever, and it's just fun to drive around and look for things. But yeah, overall I just feel like I wish they would have added a little bit more, but I'm happy with it. And then you got the Grand Prix mode, which only goes up to 150cc, which is kind of ridiculous for how big these maps are. And the maps are really cool. Like I like all the races, all the maps. But what does kind of suck is like some of the maps are just like, you know, getting from one place to another, where like you only do like a lap or two in the actual race, like in the actual like level, you know, but in between you go through like these intermediate like highways or whatever, these in-between zones. And I wish you could do 3 laps of the actual level itself instead of these intermediary in-between zones. It is cool sometimes, but I also wish you had the other option, you know, especially since it's an $80 game. And like, that's the thing, like, if they would have made this game 60 bucks, 70 bucks, this wouldn't really have been a problem, you know? This would have been like, okay, it's Mario Kart, like, whatever, you know? Like, it's a fun game to play with your friends. Some people are gonna play competitively, yeah, that's true. But other than that, it's just a fun game to get your friends together and play with. Like, and it still is, but the fact that it's $80, it's just like, okay, kind of crazy. So yeah, all the levels are really creative though, and they all look really nice, and there's all these different shortcuts and different pathways you can take, and the new jumping mechanics give you all these boosts and whatnot. And for the most part, levels have a lot of twists and turns, but then you do reach these certain points where there's just these long, straight pathways, and there's like only like one item box for like 30 seconds or 1 minute or something, and sometimes it could just feel very stale. But those moments I would say are few than more, so it's really not that big of an issue. And yeah, I enjoyed the Grand Prix. I wish they had 200cc to make it go a little faster, but it's fine. And then you have the Knockout Tour, which is in my opinion the coolest mode. It's super chaotic, full of chaos, you know, just, you never know what's gonna happen. You could go from first place to last, like the 24th place in a heartbeat, just from a blue shell, and then you get squished by a giant mushroom, you know, and then somebody hits you with a bullet bill, or, you know, and then you're all the way in last place now. So it's super fun, you know, and it's definitely adrenaline inducing, especially when, you know, you're on the close to the end of a lap, and you're out of the necessary like level of requirement to continue the race, but you have like a golden mushroom, you know, and you start using it, and you're just like, oh, and you start skipping like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and you're just like, yep, all right, I made it. You know, you could kind of tactically like decide when to use these items, and that's, you know, it's really exciting, and it's sometimes maybe too chaotic, but I enjoy that, you know. I do enjoy a little bit of the randomness. It makes Mario Kart in my opinion, and I'm having a great time with the Knockout Tours. It's probably my favorite part of the whole entire game. And then you have battle mode, and I've never really been into battle mode other than Nintendo 64. I used to play that a lot as a kid with my friends, and that was always really fun. But after that, I kind of just never ever played battle mode again. And so I played it online for a little while, and there was this one character, I won't say his gamertag name because I don't want to put him out there, or her out there, but man, I played like 15 games in a row, and they won every single one except one of them. They came in second place in the one that they didn't win. So like, at first I was like, oh, this is just gonna be random, it's not gonna be like, you know, very skill based. But man, I was kind of wrong, because this one person just won every single time. So it's kind of cool, like, to see that there's actually tactics and skill in the game. But I don't know, it wasn't really something that I can see myself getting into very much. Like, it was fun for what it was, but it wasn't my favorite part of the game, but it was still cool, you know, and I could see some people really liking that mode. So yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I liked it. Some of the maps maybe weren't all that great for battle mode, and I don't really like the coin chasers. I like the balloon battles. The coin chasers was like the thing where you pick up the coins, and then whoever has the most coins at the end wins. And you can make people lose their coins by hitting them with items and stuff, and then you can pick their coins up and whatnot. And then there's coins that just spawn on the map. So it was I enjoyed it, you know. I liked the competition, trying to beat the guy that was in first place the entire time. It was still enjoyable. And what else? And yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. The music in the game, I would say, is super phenomenal. Like, the soundtracks are just so well done. Like, they're all like orchestrated and jazzy and just, I don't know, like they're like remixes of like throwbacks, you know, of old school songs a lot of the times, and it's really cool to hear them reimagined with like a lot more complexity and nuance. And yeah, every time I hear any of the soundtracks, I'm always grooving to them, and I actually really enjoy them. So yeah. So is the game worth the $500? I would honestly say right now, no. I would say just wait. Wait till the Switch 2 has more games available. Wait till the prices drop maybe. You know, wait till they release like special editions of the Switch 2. Because right now it's really not that great of a game to, I feel like, spend that much money. Unless you really want to Switch 2 and you know you're going to be playing the Switch 2, or you're a really big Mario Kart fan, then I would say just wait for it, you know? It's still really fun, it's a really good game, but it's... I just can't help but be a little jaded towards Nintendo for charging $80 for the game. It just... like, they're trying to justify it, and yes, it has quality and it's polished, but maybe give us more in the open world. Make the open world feel more meaningful. You know, don't just give us these menial tasks that just feel super mundane, you know, a lot of the times, or just not that significant, not that rewarding, not that impactful, you know? And, you know, otherwise it's fun, it's cool to drive around, like I said, in the free world and stuff and whatnot. But give us 200cc, you know, give us the ability to race in the same race 3 times in a row, the same map 3 times in, you know, 3 laps in one race, instead of doing these intermediary, weird, in-between zones, you know? And they'll be able to add content, so I think they will be adding more stuff later on, and it'll be cool to see. But yeah, it's pretty much about it, guys. So let me know what you guys think about Mario Kart World, if you guys have it and what you think about it, or if you think you'll be avoiding it and waiting till the price drops, or, you know, yada yada, whatever you're choosing to do about this Switch 2, or how you feel about it and all the above. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.